Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we'll be reviewing the Genesis GV80 Coupe. I've been living with this for the last week, so I'll let you guys know what it's like to actually live with one. Before we get into this video, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town, 22 on the highway. Now this has the E-supercharger system, so it produces a little bit more power compared to the standard version. It's 409 horsepower and then 405 pound-feet of torque. Now before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So taking a look at the hood, of course, Genesis logo front and center with the wings, and pretty simple design with the hood itself. You've got the split light design with the headlights themselves, and I mean that looks really intricate. Same thing with the grille, and when you see this car, it just looks fancy. So tire wheel setup is 265 by 40 by 22. I like the coloration on the wheels with the satin finish. Got the nice body painted fender flares, got little turn signal indicators off to the side. And just all the trim in general has a nice finish. And this is where you guys can see the coupe style. Now this leads us to the key fob where we've got the Genesis logo. On the one side we have our lock and our unlock. We got the opening for the hatch, which will pop that open. And then on the other side, we've got the self-park feature and then the remote start. Now the coupe does have less storage compared to the SUV because of the tapered off style, but still have a very fancy cargo cover here in the back. And I mean a decent amount of room. Overall, this is still a pretty big SUV. And then you can fold down the seats if you want more storage. Now, just like in the front, you've got a split light design here in the back. And then it's pretty cool for the exhaust tip covers. But look at that too with the little spoiler up top. It kind of gives this an interesting design. And then this leads us inside. So soft touch up top. This is cool. The trim down below. And I actually really dig the red and the blue contrast. You wouldn't think that would look good, but it actually works really well. Same thing here on the seat belts. And look at these seats, by the way. These are fancy. Now legroom back here's pretty decent. Got a little storage pocket. And as you can see, we've got, well, if it'll focus. There we go. Heated and ventilated seats. We've got our own climate zone here in the back as well, and we can adjust the front seat here from the rear because this seat's always the most important. And then this leads us up front where, again, you get all of the stitching here. Look at this trim. All of our window controls. The mirrors do power fold in. Got blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. This is cool, the stitching design down below. And then here are the seats. Really cool trim all down the center. Massage function with these seats. And then you got a pretty nice finish on the pedals. And then the dash has more nice trim all across. And let's start her up. Ooh. Fancy stitching around the airbag cover with the Genesis logo. You got practical controls like your voice command volume controls, pedal shifters there on the back. Adaptive cruise control as well. And notice there's like perforated section where you put your hands most of the time, which is kind of cool, and the contrast is nice. And then just regular stocks there on the back behind the paddle shifters. Now you do have a digital gauge cluster that's customizable in terms of the information you can display, but as always the fun party trick is the little drive mode animation. And this has the adjustable side bolsters like a Mercedes, so when you go at higher speeds it'll tighten, and then when you pop into sport mode the bolsters will also tighten around you. Now this does come with a very fancy 360 camera system. It also has the little exterior shot as well. Great resolution, so that's all easy enough. And then quick to respond infotainment system. Again, it has everything in here, including mood curator. That's pretty cool. Again, these luxury cars, they gotta set the ambiance, as they say. And by the way, this is all one unit with the screen. Heads-up display up top, and then down below this is a screen, but it's very easy to use for the climate controls. We do have heated and ventilated seats, dual zone climate with this. Then you have a bunch of physical buttons also for just the infotainment system in general. This is our charging area down below with the phone charging pad and all of that. And then this is the physical dial control for the infotainment system, so if you don't want to use the screen you can use that. And then you have the little fingerprint scanner to set yourself as the key. Actual dial shifter right next to the control. Don't mix them up, folks. Nice finish on the cup holders, that's why I'm mentioning that. And then you guys can see here with this little drive mode select, you got your auto stop start. It's for the center diff, parking sensors, camera, and then Center consoles, decent storage. Nice trim on the top here. We've got a camera rear view mirror. We've got a fancier headliner up top, and then we do have a panoramic sunroof. So here's our window sticker for this. Pretty much everything is standard with this, so it comes pretty fancy. But yeah, if you get the E-Supercharger one, it doesn't come cheap. $87,780 is the total MSRP. Let's see how it performs. GV80 Coupe. So let's first talk about just the general driving dynamics, and then I'll tell you guys what it's like to just live with this. So with the Coupe, again, you lose a little bit of storage space, but it doesn't actually change how this drives whatsoever. This still performs just like you would expect it to perform. So it's comfortable, it's pretty insulated as well, and the power is actually really good. It's got this nice low end to it where you just kind of dive into the throttle a little bit and the car just moves. It's a really pleasant driving experience in general, and it handles pretty well. Definitely doesn't feel sporty per se. That's not what Genesis is going for, but it handles well enough that you're like, yeah, it's nice. But the most impressive thing is just how it goes over bumps. It's so nice, it's so comfortable, and it's impressive because this doesn't have air suspension or anything. So it's really cool what they've done with this car, with just the shocks and the springs and everything. Now, seats are comfortable, you've got massage function, they hold you in place well. Like I said, when you go at higher speeds, the bolsters will kind of tighten around you. So that's a pleasant setup, pleasant experience. Pop it into the Sport Plus here. Bolsters will tighten automatically with that. And yeah, steering's nice too. It's electronic, it's direct. Headlight lightsabers, that's kind of cool. It's definitely not like rip your head off power like what you have with BMW's B58 inline 6, where that just has so much torque in the low end and it just rips the red line. Again, this is all about being smooth, so you can definitely feel that, where it's all about just kind of slowly building on the power. And so in terms of livability, it's just a great luxury car. That's the thing that you notice with this. You get in this and everything is easy to use. Like, all the buttons are nicely labeled. I don't have to dive into a screen for normal day-to-day stuff. Like, if I want to turn on, you know, recirculate because someone's doing a burn pile, boom, it's right there. I don't have to dive into like 3 different menus. Like BMW is a good example where it's kind of not super intuitive, not super user-friendly with their stuff. So I really appreciate that everything's just right there. It's user-friendly, and then the car is easy to get in and out of. It's just comfortable to drive. It's quiet. It's a good luxury car. I don't see any downside to the GV80 Enduro. Again, if you want more space, you just go for the SUV. You don't go for the coupe. And so the thing that I find, I don't know, interesting about this is that there aren't more of these selling. Like, I don't understand why. So I can understand why people buy top of the line luxury from the other manufacturers, because Genesis doesn't offer a high performance car, right? They, you know, they've got the GV60 electric that's got, you know, fast 0 to 60, but they don't offer like a V8 GV80, for example, or a V8 G90, right? That has like 600 horsepower. So if you're looking at that side of the market, like, I can understand you, because Genesis doesn't offer anything. But if you're looking at like a regular BMW X5 or a, you know, Mercedes GLE, like, this offers more features. It drives just as well, if not better, I would say. Actually, it looks better, and it's less money. You know, it's kind of like or similar money, right, for the features. Again, it just depends on how you spec out the GV80. So I guess from my perspective, the point that I'm trying to make here is, I think Genesis is really underrated, and I think that people are just buying the badge when they buy the BMW, when they buy the Audi, when they buy the whatever, you know, Mercedes, insert whatever, you know, typically German luxury automaker. And it's like, if you actually just drove one of these and looked at it objectively and just looked at it as, okay, which car performs the best, which car gives you the most features for the least amount of money, like turn signal camera, that's another little tech feature, then you see that Genesis wins. And, you know, they've got good warranties too. So I don't know, to me it's a no-brainer. But I can kind of understand that, you know, some people, they gotta have that BMW badge, they gotta have that Mercedes badge, but I think the Genesis badge with the wings looks pretty cool. So let me know your thoughts.